What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna be breaking down some of my favorite Under Armour cross training shoes in 2021. So we have 6 models up here, and all these models excel in certain activities, so they are included in this list. Plus, you can find a variety of the colorways in different sizes, so these are all models that are pretty dang shoppable across different retail outlets. So the 6 models we have up here are the Under Armour Tri-Base Rain 2, Under Armour Tri-Base Rain 3, Under Armour Hover Rise 2, Under Armour Project Rock 3, Under Armour Project Rock BSR, and the Under Armour Hover Apex 2. So when we go through all of these shoes, I'm gonna be breaking them into 4 different categories. We're gonna talk about best for lifting and CrossFit, best for HIIT training, agility training, and just overall plyometric work, best for day-to-day wear and shorter runs, and then best for the budget. Where can you save the most money? And before we dive into these lists, guys, if you haven't already yet, make sure you drop this video a like, drop a subscribe to the channel. Now let's talk about which is the best for lifting. All right, so now let's discuss which model is best for lifting and or CrossFit. So down here I have my top pick, down here is my third. So throughout this entire video, it's always gonna go 1, 2, 3. So my top pick for lifting and CrossFit is the Under Armour Tri-Base Rain 3. Now I will say that the two can be swapped in and out of that number 1 and number 2 spot, and it really comes down to what you prefer in your upper construction. Why? Well, when it comes to overall stability, both of these shoes are pretty dang parallel. They both offer a 2mm offset, so if you like having a slightly lower offset in your shoe, these are both great bets for that, and they both offer Under Armour's Tri-Base outsole and micro G foam midsole. So when it comes to stability and responsiveness, both of these shoes are very similar. The big difference is the upper construction. I do like the Tri-Base Rain 3's upper a tiny bit more due to it being a tad bit more durable. So if you are somebody who likes to have S-lock and a rope climb, or they have a lot of friction that's gonna be happening on the upper of the shoe, I think the Tri-Base Rain 3 is a tad bit better overall because this model is a bit of a softer mesh throughout the upper, but really the Tri-Base Rain 2 and 3 can both be pretty much swapped as the best shoe for lifting and or CrossFit. It really comes down to your overall wants in the upper construction of this shoe. My third pick is the Under Armour Hover Rise 2. So this shoe is not going to be the best for your die-hard CrossFit athlete. However, for the recreational lifter who also wants to save money on their shoe because this only has a price point of $100 USD, I do think it's a pretty good pick. The Hover midsole is not the most stable in the game, but it does a fairly good job at providing enough stability, like working up to 365 pounds in deadlifts and so forth, and being a bit more responsive for anybody who likes to add in some casual agility or HIIT training in their workouts. So this is kind of a good all-in-one style shoe for the recreational lifter. Plus, it has a nice comfortable booty design, and the overall upper is decently durable. This shoe hasn't really broken down on me yet, and for the price, I think that's a pretty good bet for the rec lifter. So overall, those are my top 3 picks for lifting and CrossFit. We have the Tri-Base Rain 3, Tri-Base Rain 2, and then Hover Rise 2. And honestly, the Tri-Base Rain 2 and 3 can be swapped in and out of that first spot, depending on what you want in the upper construction of your shoe. When discussing which model is best for HIIT training, more agility work, plyometric work, and even class workouts, do note that with this category, a lot of what's gonna come down to being the best is gonna come down to how you want your shoe to fit. So I'll talk about the specs of each shoe, and then you can kind of decide which model would probably be best based on your preferences, wants, and needs. So the Hover Rise 2, why is it my number 1 pick? Number 1, overall, it's a decently lightweight shoe. The booty design feels very athletic. It doesn't feel like overly heavy. It doesn't really dig into the lateral or medial side of the ankle. So it's a pretty comfortable shoe right from the start, especially if you're doing a lot of jumping or like class style bounding activities. And also, I do like the Hover midsole. It's decently responsive. So if you are doing something like jump rope, box jumps, anything where you're gonna be doing a lot of jump work, the shoe does a pretty good job at providing you with enough support to provide a lot of power in takeoffs, and then enough support to also be responsive during landing phases. Plus, the overall rubber outsole I think does a really good job at providing traction on a variety of surface. My second pick is going to be the Tri-Base Rain 3. Now this is gonna be the best pick for somebody who really wants a low offset shoe, who wants kind of like that more minimalist boot too, because this has a booty design as well, but it sits a tad bit lower than the Hover Rise 2. Plus, this shoe is gonna be a bit more stable, so if you are somebody who likes training HIIT a lot and takes a lot of class workouts, but also wants that aspect of stability, I do think the Tri-Base Rain 3, or even 2 in this case, could be a really good bet for you when it comes to the best model for HIIT, class, and agility workouts. Plus, the overall responsiveness of the shoe is decent for being as stable as it is. My third pick is the Under Armour Project Rock 3. Now, the reason I like this shoe for HIIT training and class style workouts is just the overall midsole and outsole construction. So we have the Tri-Base outsole tech on the outsole here that Under Armour loves to use in their training shoes. And we have a nice cushioned hover midsole. So this shoe is awesome for being on your toes a lot, and the lightweight knit booty upper is pretty dang comfortable over a long duration of time, and it's decently breathable. What I will say is with the Project Rock 3, size up a half size to a full size because these do run small. I have a full review on this model, so if you are interested in the Project Rock 3, check that out. And for this category, I did want to have an honorable mention, and that is the Project Rock BSR. Basically, if you like the Project Rock 3, but you're not willing to front the $140 USD price point for it, I think the BSR is a decent substitute. It comes in at $100 USD, and it offers a similar-esque feel to the Project Rock 3. However, it does have a slightly different midsole, and it still has the tri-base outsole and the booty design, so there are a couple differences with it, but it's a good budget-friendly option for the class workout, HIIT-focused athlete and lifter. So now when looking at the best model for day-to-day wear and shorter runs, I think it's important to define what I mean by day-to-day wear and shorter runs. So by day-to-day wear, I'm talking about models that you can wear out and about for long durations, they're decently comfortable, and if you want to rock them to the gym for some casual training sessions, you can do that. For shorter runs, I'm talking about anything that's less than 3 miles. These are all training shoes. All the shoes in this video are focused on cross-training and training, so they're not designed solely for running. If you are looking for a shoe for longer runs, then I would highly suggest looking at Under Armour running shoes, which could probably feed better for you into those activities. So our top pick for day-to-day wear and shorter runs is the Under Armour Hover Rise 2. Now I know this shoe is taking our top spot once again, but as an all-in-one style of shoe that I think does a really good job just being durable and weathering the climate outside, the Hover Rise 2 is exceptional. The booty is once again very, very comfortable, and the upper has a nice layering of like this 3D material over the top, so it does resist friction pretty well, but also does a pretty good job at being pretty dang cleanable as well. You can wipe these shoes down fairly easily, and they look decently good right after, so they don't look like they're just like old tattered shoes if you want to clean them and wipe them down if they got muddy or if you wore them outside in the rain. This is a good model in my opinion for wearing out and about, beating up, and just being kind of like that all-in-one style shoe for tackling shorter runs, casual lifting, and running errands, etc. My second pick is going to be the Project Rock BSR. This model has a charged midsole, which is really responsive and comfortable, and with the tri-base outsole, it makes it a good option too for the casual lifting. So when it comes to day-to-day wear and shorter runs, the charged midsole does a decent job in providing you with enough support and responsiveness for tackling those tasks, and the overall booty design is fairly comfortable. So this model is a good pick, I think, for the more budget-friendly person who just wants a shoe to beat up on a day-to-day basis and wear for casual training. My third pick is the Under Armour Project Rock 3. This model, when you get the sizing right, is fairly comfortable, and you can wear it for long durations and it doesn't feel like a drag. Plus the overall lightweight knit booty does provide a nice level of breathability and just an overall comfortable feel. The only problem with this model is the price point at $140 USD. That's why honestly these two models are up a little bit further in the list, because if you are wearing these on a day-to-day basis and get them muddy or just have them kind of get a lot of dust on them, they are a tad bit tougher to wipe down because the knit holds onto that dirt a little bit more. So as a shoe that's very comfortable, the Project Rock 3 is awesome, but when it comes to just weathering your overall climate on a day-to-day basis, they can be a bit tough to clean, hence why they are my third pick, but they are pretty dang comfortable. So these are my top 3 picks for day-to-day wear and shorter runs. Once again, if you want a shoe for longer runs, I would highly suggest checking out running focused shoes for that. So now our final category is which model is best for the money. So all these shoes up here have decent price points, and I included them because they perform decently well across the board. So when it comes to looking at budget-friendly options up here, I promise that you're not gonna have to sacrifice performance too much by opting for a more budget-friendly shoe. My top pick is the Under Armour Tri-Base Rain 2. Now I will say that some colorways are still full price at $120 USD, but if you shop around, you can generally find different off the beaten path colorways for less than $110 USD. Now, why I put this as my top pick despite being a little bit more pricey than these two models is because if we compare this shoe to other high performing cross trainers on the market, if you're somebody who wants like maximal stability and wants a very high performing shoe for a variety of activities, I think if you could find this model for less or about $110 USD, then it's definitely worth the investment. My second pick is the Under Armour Hover Rise 2, and honestly, this could be interchanged with the BSR. Both of these have a price point of $110 USD, and they're decent for casual lifting, day-to-day wear, and shorter runs. So if you do want to save the most money possible and just want a good casual training shoe for a little bit of everything, these are both viable picks, and honestly, they could both swap from second and third. I would say that I kind of prefer the Hoverize 2 personally a bit more than the BSR, just because I think they fit a bit more true when it comes to just their overall width and length, and they're a tad bit more comfortable. So I do like to actually wear these more on a day-to-day basis, but the BSR is also a solid option. So that wraps up our budget-friendly shoe picks up here. Honestly, all three of these are pretty good across the board. I would just say, look for the Tri-Base Rain 2 if you do want a very high performing model, and if you're more of a casual trainer, look for the BSR or Hoverize 2. All right guys, that wraps up this video of the best Under Armour training shoes in 2021. If you have any questions about the models, or if you want further help deciding which model would be best based on your activities, needs, wants, etc., hit me in the comments below. I try to respond to everybody, so I will give you my honest feedback based off of how all these models perform. But as always guys, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.